Um, hey Righteous, are you even watching my video right now? Cause I got something of a question that your pony avatar is live and private. It's just sent to public, and it's this is your avatar. I just I just used it 2 times, and I hope you're I hope you're not even mad. Not mad at me for just having your avatar without permission. It, I just looking for pony avatars, and it's made by this man. That it looks like you, but you became furry 8 years. Uh, this I hate furry. Why you became furry then? Man, anyways, it's your avatar. Uh, that's you. Uh, I know that you just quit. I know that Righteous is dead. Um, and I prefer that you want to be the goat right now. And yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like your avatar is knife and pride right now. Just saying. Um, that's everything I gotta say. I um
Good time zone, everyone. And happy birthday, Raider Sonic, and to everyone who is a Virgo that has a birthday today. Um, I want to respond to that video and pretty much just state my piece as to why that Avi is now public. I think I've already talked about this, but I feel like I should go into more details. All Bad Badgers is a friend of mine. They already told me why, you know, they used to be a part of fandom, no longer a part of fandom. Um, you know, the reason why that Abby is public is so it's easier for me to switch between Abby's instead of having the accounts I have in my account. Plus, that Abby is outdated, broken, buggy, and not a lot of people even bother with it. So, but if the creator wants to delete it, that is of their choice, and I will respect their choice. It's just that simple. And if they need to contact me about it, they can. I have a new version of my pony, and it is just pretty much for mine and mine alone. It is also broken and is currently a work in progress. So it's funny how life tends to work in this day and age. So, but I want to thank you, um, Lazi YT, for one, your continued support, and two, um, for being one of the rare few who happen to see the good, in the furry and brony community. That's good. That shows maturity. Um, but I really want to go into a more deeper, prospect of this. I want to talk about mostly of one thing and one thing only. And I really want people to fully understand and hear me when I talk about this. A lot of my friends that I am around, highly intelligent, so much to offer to this world, but bogged down by some level of hatred. Hatred for a political stance, or hatred for a religion, or hatred for a group. Just hatred is all I tend to just hear about at their mouth sometimes. They hate this, they hate that, they don't like themselves, and all of that just tends to lead to their ongoing depression. So I want to just say this. Your hatred after you received healing and advice from others is your choice. Just like people have a choice and a right to hate me. Just like people have a right and a choice to hate, you know, certain circumstances in their life. Like just today, I woke up and my mother was stating how she wasn't feeling the best again. I believe it's pretty normal to hate cancer, to not like it, but to understand that. it sadly exists for a reason. You know, um, here's something that a lot of the heroes that you look up to won't tell you. Your hatred equals an enslavement of your inner child and your past. So if you are, doesn't matter how old you are, let's just say 16, 17, and you're walking around saying you hate this, you hate this person, you hate this thing, you hate this company, you hate this church, you hate this individual, that is you literally being enslaved to the world. You are conforming to your hatred, you're succumbing to it because you have not healed, because no one has taken the time to listen to you, to hear what you have to say, because you feel like that what you say no longer matters anymore. And a lot of people that I have listened to over the years who have shown me and have expressed this hatred, I always say afterwards, my condolences, I apologize. Um, it seems to me that you're having a really bad day. Now that you got it all out your chest, how are you feeling right now? Do you need to express more about what's going on with you? Would you like to find something else to do to take your mind off of, for a bit of what's happening? Would you like any suggestions to ease your hatred for a bit? See, hatred, as it grows, it takes time to heal because, especially when you're older, it's so rooted in you that no matter what you do, no matter how much you meditate and pray and whatnot, it will just continue to manifest into something bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you can no longer get rid of it anymore. Then it just becomes this issue, this problem where now you are just stuck in this perpetual loop of hatred because you have instilled that in your heart, instilled that in your soul, instilled that in your mindset over and over again that you hate this and you hate that and you hate this person to the point where now you believe what you hate. Now, the truth of the reality is the reason why certain people on this platform and other platforms will never tell the truth about why you hate furries or whatnot, and I'm not speaking of you, I'm speaking just to your friends or whatnot in general, is because of the fact that it is something deep rooted in them. Why in the world would they tell their money makers the secret of being free? Because if they're free and they find out that their hatred is nonsensical after they have finally healed from the deeper meaning behind it, then they're afraid that, oh no, you won't watch my rage bait content anymore. I can't make money. So they rather keep you all enslaved in your hatred for one another. You're talking to someone who has been hurt by this fandom, who has been hurt by the Roni fandom, who has been hurt even by the Nekos and any other fandom you can think of, because I chose to be different, because I made a little mistake. And I listen and hear others and how they were hurt. So then you ask yourself, well, why are they a furry? Why are they this? Well, some people still see hope. Some people still see that there are good people that can help not fully change their mind, but let them see the brighter side of things. I have friends who are non-furries that tell me how much they can't stand furries. They hate femboys. But when they're around people like me, they're calm. They're saying, man, I may not like furries and stuff, but man, I like you. And I look at them and I say this. To hate anything in this world means that there is something rooted in you that you don't like about yourself. The only thing that you should truly hate in this world is actual injustice where kids are being enslaved and killed and used as, in sex trafficking, illegal businesses, for illegal child labor, anything that, involves like elder abuse or racism. I think that is something that should be hated. It should be understood to an extent so you know of what not to be, but it should also be hated so that way you will not fall into that path. But at the same time, if you hate it so much, then you go into a radical form where you want to eradicate it. And I would say that yes, there are lots of things that are evil in this world that should be eradicated. But with everything unfortunate that is evil that exists in this world, it has a purpose, which is unfortunate. See, evil has a purpose. It is a purpose, and it only exists because of good, just like good exists because of evil. It is a yin and yang. It is this interconnected spectrum that we can't fully ever truly understand. But we still have a choice to rise above the hate and be better than it. When you listen to certain podcasters and how they talk about certain people, certain groups, you can feel their hatred. You can feel in Charlie Kirk's voice the hatred in his voice, and how he was able to quote it so nicely to the point where no one could ever truly understand or truly really see how much he actually had this hidden rooted hatred. Because the man was smart, he knew how to speak to the people in a way where they will never know. And anybody who wants to educate themselves to such a level can do the exact same thing, where you can inadvertently talk about what you don't like, but also replace it with certain words and hide behind certain rhetorics and narratives, so that way it makes you seem like the better person, when in all reality you are only just hiding from yourself. And unfortunately for Charlie Kirk, and just like with Turboella, they were not able to fully grow up and see that. So that, in my opinion, is why both their deaths are tragic. There is nothing more tragic than dying hating, or dying knowing that you never got the chance to fulfill your dreams, or dying knowing that you never got to be truly at peace, because you constantly keep searching for happiness, something that will forever be an endless journey. Hatred is something that you have to be very careful of, just like your anger. It exists for a reason, just like your anger, but too much of it can overwhelm you, consume you, and even good hearted people can turn cold, bitter, angry, and very resentful. I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, "You're such a good person, but you deal with people that hurt you in ways that make no sense. Why don't you just unleash your rage, unleash your frustration? Show them who you really are. Show them that they should have never messed with you, that you make them regret that they should have spent more time with you." And I look at these people and I say, everything that you're saying makes zero sense. And I'll explain to you why it makes zero sense. You want me to waste my time and be angry at people who A, I barely even know, B, that I chose to invite in my life, and C, who it is obvious when you look close and deep within their soul that are hurting and crying on the inside. I made the choice to have them in my life. I made the choice to be their friend, which means I also made the choice to suffer and bleed in silence. It's called taking responsibility for your own choices. I can't get mad at someone that already showed me who they were, and yet I want to still take that chance with them. How can I have this deep rounded hatred for someone who clearly already showed me who they were? All I have to do is just extend my hand, and if they pretty much show me through their actions that they simply do not care, why bother chasing after them? Why bother even trying? Why bother even trying to, convince them? If it is in their heart that they don't want to do something, I will not hate them for it. I'll respect them and move on. You see, that's the thing that you have to understand. You have to make certain choices in your life so that way you will not fall for this endless cycle of hatred over people because they forgot an important day or a holiday, or they forgot to fulfill a promise. They didn't pay you on time. You see, there's many reasons why people can definitely indeed hate something or someone. I have to even be careful with this when it comes to AAA industry. Sometimes you can get so caught up that you just forget that, hey, you're dealing with people that are working on these projects and these animes and these cartoons and these movies. And we just state how much we don't like this, this, and this. And we have to constantly remind them that we don't hate you. We just don't like certain parts of your project. And here's the reasons why. And we say this because we care. And then you have others that straight up say, I just hate everything about it. And those are people that pretty much have never healed from a certain part of their past. I tell people this all the time. If you ever deal with an adult that talks about how much they hate something, they have already exposed all the pain and hurt right there and then within their soul. They'll deny it. They'll say that they matured. They'll say that they have moved on and that they are perfectly fine and everything is good and you're just over exaggerating. You're just seeing things. Those are the ones that are deeply deluded. You know, an old saying goes that a person that pretty much states that they are so righteous and that they have no flaw is already a deluded fool. And I've seen that in so many sides and spectrums of this life of people who want to constantly admit to themselves that they have no issues, that they have no problems, and that they are just fine and that everything is just going to work out instead of just allowing themselves to feel in a mode. You see, when you go into VR chat or social media, what do you feel? What is the one emotion that you always feel? To some that are new, happiness, joy. Wow, everyone's welcoming you. But then over time, the cracks start to show. You see hatred. You see people who blatantly disrespect the left, the right, the middle, and all other forms of life. You see hypocrites. You see those of many depravities. And what this shows you is that everyone is struggling with something on the inside. And they want to have that peace. They want to be calm, but they can't because they're always angry and frustrated with themselves over something that they cannot control. And they can control it. They just have to listen to that inner child. A lot of racist people are just hurting people. I will continue to say this every year if I remember to do so. They simply hate themselves. There is not a single racist person that I've met that was and still is on my friends list that has healed from that who has not admitted this to me. They told me there was a part of me that I hated. There was a part of me about certain people of that race that I hated. It is simple hatred. They can make jokes. They could try to make sense of it. They could try to act as if what I say, actually makes a lot of sense about certain people. But deep down, all it is just immaturity and hatred. Hatred is also immaturity. It's immaturity because you have allowed yourself to be clouded and not see. Nowadays, we live in a world where people can be racist without being racist. They don't even have to say the words anymore. Their actions can pretty much showcase how racist and discriminatory they are. Their words don't even have to match with what the narratives that we are used to hearing in popular media. This is a new form of racism that I have, not gonna lie, have seen before. They call it being nasty nice, as my late grandparents called it. And it just means where you could be nice to someone but be nasty and cruel and mean at the same time. If there's something that my 32nd birthday has taught me is don't bother letting people know it's your birthday. The older you get, people will not wish you happy birthday. They will simply look at you. They will simply just eyeball you. So, for my 33rd birthday, I will not mention it. I will not say anything. If people remember, that's cool. And if they say, hey, did you know it's your birthday? And I'm going to say, it was an amazing 32nd birthday. But that birthday also taught me a lot. So, I'm just not going to mention it's my birthday. If you remember, bless you. If you don't, bless you too. But just know this. If it's your birthday, let me know. I want to celebrate it. If you want to celebrate with me. You see, I could have been upset that certain people made promises to me and forgot about my birthday. For example, I would message people and literally say, Hey, did you know that was my birthday? And they would just look at me and just walk away. Now, we have to break this down into multiple reasons as to why someone would act this way. A, they had a flashback of their birthday, how terrible it was. B, they were never taught mannerisms of how to wish someone a happy birthday properly. C, their birthday, when they hear the word birthday, it led to a traumatic response. D, they simply did not care. You see, there's all these, you know, reasons as to why people act the way they do towards certain individuals and whatnot. And of course, if it was a white individual did that to a black person, they'll say, "Oh, that's racist." If it's a black person did it to a white individual, they'll also say the same thing. "Oh, that's racist." And at times, the answer could just be as simple as that person maybe just said it on the inside. Maybe that person just doesn't like thinking about the fact that they're one step closer to death. There's so many reasons as to why people act the way they do towards others. But the one thing that I will never truly understand is this: when they're close to death, that's when they want to start being nice and start saying their goodbyes and start apologizing. I look at these people, I give them a hug, I grant them their wishes, but on the inside, I say, why weren't you this kind while you were alive? Why did you allow your pain, your hurt, your suffering, your agony to hurt so many people because you're miserable? You see, and that's what people like Proximity Chat and Mayo Clinic and even certain YouTubers who spout the things that they say online have to ask themselves, am I saying something that's instilling life, or am I just spouting whatever for views so it can help me just have yet another day and another big paycheck? That's the painful reality of life. It's very painful. And I just realized I'm playing copyrighted music. Oh well. It's perfectly fine. I'm not worried about it. For example, if I record this and it turns out that they muted my whole VOD, I'm not going to be angry. I'm going to accept that it happened, and that's that. You know? It's just how life works. We can make so much progress if we just admit how angry and frustrated we are with one another. We can make so much progress if we just stop lying about how we truly feel about one another. The problem and the reason why certain events that have happened this year is because of hatred. It's because of misconception, miscommunication. If I were to tell y'all the many times that I've miscommunicated and apologized for it, or the many times that someone miscommunicated with me and my reaction to it, it's this endless conundrum. But if we just see each other some point, sometime, just from one side to the other, hatred would dissipate immediately. But it's difficult because every time we deal with something that evokes that hatred, it creates a trigger, and that trigger causes us to relapse. It causes us to run away. It robs us of our peace. I didn't say happiness. I said peace. What's worse, being robbed of your happiness or being robbed of your peace? Because if you don't have peace, how can you experience happiness and other emotions without feeling so frustrated with yourself, trying to understand how human nature works? Do you understand why hatred now is so dangerous? When I made that pony public, that was just my way of letting go, giving it away. There were so many people that came to me and they really wanted that pony. And I know the risk that would happen if I made it public, but I looked and I said, with everything that's going on in my life, I am not going to be hated over an Abby. you know. Whoever has that hobby, cherish it, have fun with it, use it responsibly. But just know that I have my own version. But what does that have to do with today's topic? It has a lot to do with it. I could have been hateful, mean, and spiteful and flagged your video and said, take it down because blah, blah, blah. But I didn't. I thanked you. And I showed appreciation, even though we may not be on the same side of things. I still chose to be the bigger person. First and foremost, apologize for the fact that I didn't get back with you sooner. Because, YouTube's algorithm is a mess. Let's just be real. It's very buggy at times. And it only favors, certain people that are already popular. It has already been proven. There's videos about it, which are also hidden by the algorithm. Because YouTube does not want you to know how this algorithm works fully. Only to an extent so you can be popular and successful, but not too successful. Life is really intriguing. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's something that you have to really marvel at, that you have to really meditate and study. But one has to also embrace all forms of nature, your human nature and just nature entirely. By embracing human nature, you understand that you are human. Doesn't matter what you are, how many OCs that you have feelings and they do matter. But if we think outside of ourselves and listen, which I have to do and I practice doing every single day, regardless of how I feel, you do see the humanity in people. You see that they do cry. You do see that they can be happy and then they're sad. You see that they deal with moments of depression, moments of depravity, moments of being lost, moments of being angry. And you just can't help but just marvel at these emotions, marvel at human life and say, wow. And then you have to ask yourself, what would they do next? It's no wonder why sometimes the rich, well, all the time the rich just look at us and they say, how can you still keep going? You barely have anything. Your governments constantly keep taking away certain parts of your freedom, but yet you still smile. You still make use of your life. How? How can you still see the good in life when you receive so much bad news? What is this? This doesn't make any sense. It is because you have forgiven your inner child that's been hurting. You didn't ignore it. You didn't ignore your procrastination. You acknowledged it. You didn't ignore your sadness. You acknowledged it. You are working together with yourself, with human nature, and your own life. And that is why you're going to make it. And that is why you're going to succeed. Because you chose to be a bigger person. And that is something that takes time. You will have your moments of immaturity. That's okay. And you'll have your moments of triumph. And that's amazing. What you have to take out of this is simple. Your hatred is your choice. No one can stop you from hating people, things, or anything. It's up to you. I remember I had moments of times where I hated things when I was young, and then I immediately asked the heavens for forgiveness because hatred is simply immaturity at the end of the day. It's valid only to a certain degree, but then you have to tell yourself, how long do I want to hold this bitterness, this unforgiveness? People are right. I have many reasons to turn the other cheek and not look at people the same anymore. But then I rob my own peace. Just imagine if I kept thinking about the people that forgot about my birthday or didn't wish my mother well or couldn't help me during my financial woes. So am I supposed to hold resentment towards people when it is my responsibility? No, I learned from it. I know better. And now I'm free and I keep it moving. That is the beauty of life. I'll see you all at 2:15, well, 2 o'clock, where I will stream the new Sonic game, and we will all wish Raider Sonic a happy birthday. This is your Natural Born Hater Virgo speaking, and I'll see you all then. And make sure you all check out Lazzy YT. They do reactions to My Little Pony vids, and they like to embark on adventures in their own way, based on their own creativity. And I'm very grateful to have them in my 148 followers. It was 150, but that doesn't really matter. I'm grateful for whoever is still with me during this journey of my mother healing, this journey of me going through many phases of life and maturing through each of them. It is all appreciated.